going to take up one particular aspect of it, and all related to daily life. How we can do that. Um, so we'll see how this whole thing goes up. So if you have any special doubts or special questions, you could ask me now, and I can incorporate it in the somewhere in the 10-day. It will come up, but we can address it, and I can indicate to you which days could be detailed. Then you can choose to come at the time. But I'll be doing every day anyway. All days. So I just want to convey the ease with which um, we can incorporate some of these principles on a daily basis, so that the essence is this: instead of just being mechanical and you know our regular approach that we have in our daily life, can we instill some spirituality to it? In a way, how can we make it the day spiritualized, not according to particular religion? You don't have to be identified with any particular religion. So I don't belong to any particular religion or any particular rituals and all that. They may have them, may have the reasons, and I don't really look down on them. But there is a way of only doing the rituals, reading the books, and just saying the words superficially. Or you can take to this knowledge of the principles that they explored and they spread us. Uh, that's what I want to focus on. Focus on the knowledge, of them, and then bring it that knowledge as intelligent people. We can understand, we can dig into it, we can question that, and then we say, okay, we're going to uh, live it. We're going to bring it to our daily. I think that has got much more importance than just repeating some words or quoting some quotes, or just not able to remember and go to so many people without really improving our life. Uh, for example, we were brought in the household of some of the adults are very fearful of a lot of unseen things. They they used to narrate stories like ghosts and spirits and all that, right? And so we grew up with that fear and did not go late into our teens because it was so imprinted on that. You can go on with that fear and you can go on live, but then if you can really face the fear, and if you know how to get rid of it, and then you are not really living in some imaginary thought bred world of fear, but you are really free from that, and that itself is exhalation. Like that, if you take your daily life and see, how am I on a daily life? Am I really reasonably happy, reasonably joyful, and do I have focus on whatever I'm doing? Do I really enjoy my work and my colleagues and my surroundings? Then do I really work efficiently and also be very peaceful and happy in general? That's the practicality I'm talking about. Okay, so it's not like quoting major books or cultures or anything, but it's what's happening within our daily day, and also what's happening within our mind and what is happening with our heart. uh, how do our relationships, are they really fruitful? Are they really something that we should be happy about? And don't have to have many things, but at least whatever we do, whoever we talk to, whoever we interact with, it could be our pets, it could be our plants, it could be our colleagues, it could be our friends and family. So any of those things, right? How are they? What are they? Are they only because other people are mean, or circumstances are tough, or don't have the money, or is there a change that you can make within yourself that could really make the situation lighter? I'll give an example. Suppose you are uh, really cursing yourself because you are late to the office, and you are very impatient with yourself, and you are driving the car with that kind of attitude, right? And you are basically sweating and nervous and making yourself miserable that way. And then suddenly there is a message comes that your dear friend is got caught in an accident and he's taken to the hospital. So you will drop everything, and because you want to find out what is happening with your friend and you want to be there for him, right? So your whole attitude is changing because the situations have presented a different attitude, and then you rush to the hospital. You make sure you have talked to the doctor, you know what's going on, and if they tell you there's something serious, at least you have not missed it. If they tell you, okay, he came with injuries but he needs surgery or whatever, and then you feel relaxed, and then you go to the office and then you tell the office this is what happened, right? So it's all a question of how you take it, how you react to external events, so if you look at it, then you will say, okay, where is my mind? How am I taking a difficult situation that is out there, and how am I really dealing with it? Am I dealing with fear? Am I dealing with confusion? Am I dealing with a lot of irritation because my day is disturbed? Or am I really showing my humanity and then acting it with a reasonable control within myself? How is your interior? That's what I want to get at in these 10 days. This is going to be a very useful talk for a lot of people. Probably I will invite some people too. I have not done that so far. I just come and talk. But then this will be prepared so that you get a gist of what is spiritualization of practical things. What is spiritualization of day-to-day affairs? It could be our work, it could be our friends and family, it could be my own uh, prejudices, my own concepts, my own understanding about things and all that. You could find something very surprising, and then you have been missing out on them, and that's why your daily life is very difficult. As far as I'm concerned, we as human beings should be peaceful, serene inside, and uh, enjoy a life of optimism, kindness, gratitude, and also enjoy each day our work, our associations, our surroundings. So, all that is possible as a human being if you only know who you are, and if you only know how to control your senses, how to control your mind, and also enjoy senses to some extent, and then use mind to some extent, and all that. Right now, we are out of control, and the mind goes wherever it wants to go, and we indulge in sensory pleasure to a degree that may not be pleasure anymore, and the whole structure of society is like that, making people think 100 different things in 1 minute, and also presenting a lot of temptations to the senses and all that, right? So we'll talk about pleasure, happiness, love, and hate, and prejudices, and situation in the society, and all. It's very easy for us to say to live in a suburb like I do, where there is no violence. All the neighbors are they know each other, but then they don't spend much time. Say everybody is in their own hand. But then if you live in a neighborhood that is prone with a lot of violence, how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to respond with violence, or are you going to respond with the dignity? How can it be done? Those kind of practical things we are going to take, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, that's the plan That's what I want to do. With any questions or anything people want, they can come and talk to me about it. It's a question of staying with these matters for long enough, so that we can see whether we are rooted in some kind of fundamentalism, and say what I know is the only one, or do you plan to investigate? Do you want to go into the truth of the matter? That's what you want to listen to. Okay. Um, so, Nazli, you have any questions like that? Would you like to do that? Okay. Okay. So I'm reading what you put in there, Nazli. Yeah, we will be the connections of movement to movement is very important. That's what I actually listed as the first discussion, because I live in movement to movement awareness. Okay, so what is that, and how we do all that? We're going to take it up as the first topic. Daily, what do you do in the morning? How do you deal with your running thought? How do you um, start being in the present in the morning? And that's what I do in my wellness club. And then I invite my students to take it like a perfume for the entire day. you know um, that's a very healthy way to do, rather than allowing our mind to go all over, like it goes into our childhood, to our memories and all the past, right? And it will also go into the future, projecting a lot of imaginations and all. To be devoid of that and just to be in the moment, that is really very, very helpful to consume our energy, and also to be focused on what we are involved in that moment, right? Otherwise, you'll be thinking something, you're doing something, and then unless it is really needed, it's a new thing you have to learn. Otherwise, you won't have the money, or those kind of extraneous reasons people pay attention to things, or they may be walking on a razor's edge. That is, a situation is so anxiety genic that you cannot really move from that movement. That's not, how can we deliberately cultivate a culture, a day at the office, like, where you don't have to think a lot about a lot of things except the what you are doing. Even if the things are pretty difficult, you got to focus on what you are doing. That's only you are assured of real success in that particular endeavor, right? So that's a way of living. Moment to moment awareness, that's a way of living, and that can be done provided you understand how does this thought mechanism work. What do we do in society, in social media, in our attitude? How do we allow the thought to form a matrix for itself and then run around it with that? Okay, those kind of things are very important to understand. Okay, um, so we'll take that too, and then we'll take something like how do we eat? How do we enjoy? How do we have the whole understanding of the content of the food, the importance of what is what, and then some people are addicted to some supplements, right? And they think if they take one supplement, their entire health will be improved. It may improve for that particular supplement deficiency and all that, but not necessarily the other things, or it may cause problems for you. So you got to pay attention to that, right? So that's one thing. So you take water, you take drinks. We can talk about that. Where is that habit of drinking a big gulp? Where is the habit of making all these energy drinks and then getting addicted to it? What's the problem? So small things like that too, all the way. So then we can go into addiction of anything. And what's the biggest addiction everybody has these days is overthinking. They cultivate that, they go on doing that, they cannot put the phone away for a few minutes or a few hours. And that's a real concern. So basically people are becoming very neurotic. Neurotic is the definition is to repeat something again and again, even though you don't want to do it. Compulsively you'll be doing it, right? So it's not that everybody is psychologically sick when you're overthinking, but does take away a lot of energy, does take away focus from many things. So it gives some neurological side effects like headaches, like poor focus, or not able to sleep and rest, and also being impulsive and saying things that you regret later on. So many problems are there because of the overthinking, and some people cannot stop it after a certain age because they cultivated this continuous thinking for so many decades, and when they want, it doesn't. Right? So if you understand the mechanism of thought production, mechanism of thought stimulation, mechanism of thought stoppage, and all that. That's where the ancient systems have evolved, and they found a lot of solutions for that. Okay, so we will be talking about that too. So this is a introductory class, and maybe some people will listen to it after this is all done, and then I can have some people come in here and participate in discussion. That will be good, and maybe pose some questions too. Okay, so whoever is some who is here on wisdom, I think Reggie. Okay, so as I go on looking at is why the practicality of this is uh, there's a lot of unhappiness, lot of lack of joy, lot of enjoyment in life that's missing, right? And uh, all this is possible not just by treating your illnesses, but by cultivating certain simple things. Like, for example, you are kind to somebody, and you don't have to expect anything. You just being randomly kind to somebody, a stranger. Do that 2 or 3 times every day. See how much joy you spread, right? One of my spirit is when I come here, even the people are there or not, I kind of enjoy sharing whatever I know, whatever I think I have been learning. I may change as I listen to the truth of the matter if I am wrong. Otherwise, just sharing, that act of sharing without expecting anything in return, gives me joy, right? But then I enjoy the joy later, but I don't come and expect that. I do come with topics. I do come up with, oh, you should be telling this to people. Because somebody was talking to me today about day-to-day thing. I think there was a live audio in LinkedIn. I went there. They were talking about what is the true meaning of life, you know. And the speaker, she was saying about, yeah, we are all perfect inside. Then I said, oh, yeah, but are we in touch with that perfection, or are we talking about the mind here? The mind is not perfect. What is behind the mind is something that you can think about it, right? So then I thought, okay, we can talk to people about what is practical spirituality. That means we are not thinking something and doing something. We are implementing what we learned. Okay, so that's what where I got the thought, and I said some of these practical things anybody can do. Like I'm talking about this random act of kindness. You can do that. Anybody can do that. Only thing is you got to have the empathy. Like somebody is carrying a lot of weight in the office, and you can reach out and lighten the load and help them. Simple, right? Or you are going in the corridor in the hospital, for example. Our hospital, everybody smiles at whoever we come across, and then we kind of want to spread the culture of where people are really friendly, right, and inviting, and spreading the smile. Simple. Actually, smile takes only a couple of muscles, whereas your frown, you takes a lot more muscles in the face. You can experiment with it. So in the morning, when you get up, go to the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror and give a good smile. That itself will be good. And then the same smile you continue whenever you see anybody in the hospital or any workplace you have. So, and you can wake up grateful. That's the simple thing, practical thing, which is good for you, right? But you don't have to sit down and do an exercise, but just be happy that you are alive. Just be happy that you have a job. Just be happy that you have friends and family, or whatever you can call. There was a story that I kind of heard yesterday. Uh, there is this uh, man going to see God, for example, right? And he was more like a uh, mediator between humans and other. That's like some spiritual story. So three people were meditating, and one will go after 600 years of births. Other one is 1,000, and the last one who asked you to come here, he will be 10,000 years. So he finishes his business there and he's coming back, and then he conveys the story to these people. And the guy who's at 600 years said, "Oh my God, I had to wait that long to get my liberation." And the other guy, also 1,000, they both were regretting all this. The third guy who was told 10,000, and he said, "Oh, yeah, that means there is a guarantee that I will get done. Oh, 10,000 is that's fine, but at least end of it, I have the guarantee I'll get the liberation." Okay, so there is a Sanskrit word, yad bhavam tad bhavati. Yad bhavam means how you see things, how you feel things. That's how your entire thinking and feelings go towards. So think positive, positive will happen. Think negative, negative will happen. Obvious, right? Everybody knows. But are we really doing positivity when we encounter something like that? When you see something, do you see half full or half empty? There was another story related to this. So, there is a donor center. People are giving away yeah, sweet porridge, right? And it's a liquid, and they have distributed to the people. And finally, the two people left, but only one glass full of sweet porridge left. Then they said, "Sir, we are out of it, but for you two, we'll give half a glass each." And then he pours into that. One guy says, "Oh my God, half a glass is empty," and they gave me half a glass only. And he is looking at the lack of it. The other guy, "Oh yeah, at least I got the half a glass full. That's good." They didn't say I don't have anything, and then he enjoyed it. So I mean, this is an analogy. I'm sorry, analogy that we use half glass full or half glass empty. My question is, how is yours? Do you see everything positively or something positive around negativity, or do you see only negative and in anything, and then all your negative attitude is going on all the time? That's pretty unnecessary. The highest positivity that I see in spirituality is you are thankful that you are born. Why? Because as a human bird, you have got an intelligence within that will help you to overcome the sensory, mental faculties and really experience the joy that human beings can feel when they are identified with the inner core. That you should experience. Nobody can tell and say this is so. But to experience that, you got to stop chattering. All the mind that is going all over, purposelessly thinking and all. Stop that. For that, the yoga and all those things are there. There are so many ways to really understand our body, and science is there, medicine is there, and ancient healing systems are there. You can understand your mind, There again, the ancients explored quite a bit, and your heart is there, and that's a beautifully. You can love somebody, you can feel friendly for somebody, you can be kind and empathetic to somebody. All those things you can experience. That's the difference between the animals and us. Is we have the intelligence to understand, to retain, to remember, and to imagine or project into the future and all that. But not only that, we can experience. That's what is missing in the modern life is very little experiencing, but more like repeating that is so, this is so, and all that. Okay, so that's what you want to understand. You really want to really look at that in a way that you can experience and enjoy that uh, um, experience of any number of things. You can open your eyes and see the beauty of the world, the flowers, the um, whatnot, trees and meadows and all seasons, each season, even very cold winter we enjoy here when all that ice forms on the trees. And I come to my study, I look at it in the morning, the east rises against my room, and the sun reflects the lights on the crystals of the ice and all the trees, and they glow beautiful. You will not get it. It's very cold for us, but then we have the heat and all that. But then the scene itself is beautiful, right? And the same trees, just a couple of months ago, they kind of assist with turning the leaf red and all, right? You know what I mean. So there's so much beauty out there. If only we calm ourselves and really look, experience, hear. I teach this to the burnout people when they come to ask me coaching. One of the things I prescribe is go and walk in among the woods, and then when you walk, don't think and don't talk in your mind. Just be in touch with the nature. Be in touch with what is sounds, what are the visuals, what are the sounds of the birds, all those things, the leaves, and you can look at that. The colors, you can look at that according to the season. And I was always very surprised that many people ask me, how do I do that? Because my mind is running so much, I'm not able to perceive all these things. Then take time, look for them first. And then as you silent your mind, you will see this sensory thing coming to you all over, right? And then you say, okay, this is such a beautiful place I have. If you are immersed in your troubles, in your thinking, lately it has become more because nobody is going out without phone, and in the phone so much of the world coming in, just information, not really needed for you, but more like a, you want to be sold something, they want to sell you something, they want to get something from them, that kind of thing. And that's not really good in the sense, right? So live, experience by spiritualizing your day, your life. So, not according to any particular people, they want to sell you their solutions, their way of thinking and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the religious stuff. I'm talking about being a spirited human being, and where we can be uh, very nice to other people, create situations that are pretty invigorating for us, and we can be grateful for that too. And also, as you spread this random act of kindness or feeling of gratitude, then you will have feedback from other people to enjoy that. That's one of the biggest things I enjoyed when I was actively practicing medicine. Was Even now, a lot of people come to me for relief of their suffering in some way. Some people come with nervousness or depression, anxiety. Some people come because they are really, uh, really suffered in so many ways by life. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, what really makes me very happy about these things is I was able to do something about that and then reduce the suffering as they have. I wish they are not in the suffering at all. That's what I would like to have. But if they have and they kind of reached out to me, it's my duty to really help them in whichever way. Many times, maybe I'm fortunate or just luck, whatever, I am able to reduce their suffering at least to some extent. Many people a lot, but because all the investigations I did in the human experience, from ancients to modern scientists to current advanced medical field and all that, um, I was ecstatic when you got the genome deciphered. I was ecstatic when the microbiome was understood because we have been practicing that microbiome thing for so many years, in India and here because we didn't know that yogurt has got those microbiome. But we know it's good for us. That's all our elders taught us. And it was so because the moment we stopped eating yogurt or buttermilk and all that, that weather affected us. So that was there. So we are blessed just by being born human beings. We don't have to be any particular religion or country or particular group or nothing. There is such a uh, completeness, complete fulfillment in our inner core. We don't get in touch with it because we kind of associate ourselves with so many things that are not real and that are kind of addictive, maybe habit forming, and don't want to have that. Okay, so some people say, oh, it's very difficult to live so purely. No, you are born like that. You only acquire these habits. So it may be difficult to get rid of the habit formation. But there is a science about the habit formation. There is an ancient thing about that. They call it vasana kshaya. Vasana means habits, right? Akshara, that destroying the habits is one of the things, destroying the desires and all. There's so much knowledge there. So you can have healthy habits if you want, and then you can examine the habits. Sometimes they may be out of whack and you cannot do. Then you reach out for the help of the people who can help. There are so many people who can help. So many people are trained in so many things now, right? And also all the wisdom that I talk about, I learned in the United States because I did not go to Himalayas. I did not go to any ashrams or anything like that. All I needed was questioning, genuinely questioning, genuinely asking, not accepting anything like this is the standard of care. Even medicine is like that, right? We have to ask questions. We have to learn. We have to understand the techniques of healing and then use them appropriately. So we have to study a lot and we have to ask questions. If you ask questions, then you learn a lot. If you don't ask questions, our intellect doesn't reach out to that extent, right? So we are planning how can we make our day spiritual? How can we make it practical? Not you got to spend a lot of time, but just open up, look them up, and see what are the habits that you are cultivating that you would like to. Some people may not be even, for example, this act of questioning. How many people are doing for important things? You know, they may be gossipy, they may be, voyeuristic about other people's lives. But what is happening to the life? Where is the planet going? Where is the wars going? What's happening to human beings' mind with all this onslaught with the technology? Why are we so much enamored by the technology only? It's only one part of it, life, right? Why are we sacrificing nature? Why are we sacrificing our ability to enjoy nature? We are occupied with the phone and we ignore all the glory things that are going on in the nature around us. You know, don't say, "Oh, it's up to each person." No, it's human being is only one. Only one human being experiences tragedy, happiness, all sorts of feelings, right? Also, where is the human being going? Is the humaneness, is that getting lost in this enormous attraction to the technology? Because I see lots of humanness with a lot of people, right? And that's also we should be asking. So I invite you all, I plead with you to get me educated. If you have something to tell me, or if you have questions, that's what we want to. One person asks a question and we share something good, and that will be good for everybody, who is listening, right? Um, the more you ask questions, the more your mind opens up, and the more you'll be able to perceive and absorb. And another thing is, if somebody is suffering with something like, for example, today's earthquake in Japan, and they lost a lot of life, they lost a lot of property and all that. Right? It's a major tragedy. Uh, People have become so immune. There's always somewhere happening, but no. Then the lessons that they learned of redeveloping their society due to earthquake will be adopted somewhere else where there's earthquake prone areas, right? So it's a question of really helping the people who are in trouble, and then also learning some wisdom from their suffering and then applying in our life so that we don't have to suffer. So these spiritual practices are all that they will result in inner cleaning, inner knowing, and that leads to bliss and uh, contentment and peace and love. So so many qualities, right? So participate in this exploration of ordinary mundane things that can be turned into spirituality without being addicted to any particular religion. Okay, that's what I want to do in these 10 days. So I'll be exploring how should be a daily life be, how we should be dealing with people and the world, and how do you enhance your human being humanness, and how do you reach beingness. So so many varieties are there with that. Okay, as I'm talking, these things are all coming to me, so I didn't plan any of this. I just wanted to introduce you, but this is what we are going to, enhancement of the human, enhancement of the being, enhancement of our world and circumstances and all that. Why do you have to be such a rampant consumer? What is that doing to the earth? All those things will come into. See, I had this book I'm working on. It's called Modern Challenges, Ancient Solutions. It's all a couple of years I've been writing this, but then things change, and I had to add more to the chapters. Right, there's a lot of chapters are there, 9 or 10, I think. But then, as I began to write, I was writing about global heat and how spirituality can help there, right? For the planet, that chapter is revised so many times because so many things are happening with that. Okay, so it looked like the planet is going to go away for after a while, at least the way the political response to this, and the way they are not doing what is needed, and they are going on doing the same behavior like a consumption of the fuel, fossil fuels, and all the coal. Then China or India or America, all these three people are biggest culprits, right? They are doing it, and then they are trying to build some electrical and all that. That is there, but the damage that is being done because of the coal consumption or fossil fuels is like a 95% or something, and the other alternate energies are like a 5%. it will help, but then you have to do much more. Like yesterday, we should have been doing, not even tomorrow a plan. What they are doing, they are planning and putting it away. So that's a horrible thing they are doing to the entire ecological balance. We know that, but what are we doing about it? That's what I want to discuss about. On the other hand, you have inner perception of this damage, inner awareness. By the way, J. Krishnamurti said this: the only solution for this global destruction is to have a revolution in our consciousness of what we are doing. That means in our awareness, there should be a revolution of what is going on and act passionately in our daily life and also propagate to our children. I think they are doing better job. The children, the younger generation, they are doing much more to the planet than our generation, my generation, right? So I have been seeing this since 80s about the earth and the damage, and they talked about this even at the time, the scientists. They forecasted these kind of violent events will happen, immigration problems will happen, and all that they forecasted. And but people appear to be listening, meeting, and discussing this, and then they don't have. So how do we respond to that? That's also we're going to talk about in these 10 days. Okay. So I'm putting a lot of things out there for you, and hopefully you will all come up and talk to me in these matters at least, and that will be good. Okay. All right. So, anybody has any questions? So you can come up. Okay. I kind of tentatively wrote down a few things what I want to do about. It may be pretty deep discussion sometime, but generally, what is happening around us in our life and in our surroundings, in our structures. Probably I will use that structure as the guide for me, so that we can talk about these things also. Okay. All right. If I think it's almost 7 o'clock coming up, another 10 minutes. So I will take leave now, and I will come back tomorrow with the first day of not today is first day, first day of discussions tomorrow, and we will talk about a very good day that I do have from my routine. I will describe that to you, and then you can also contribute to any particular thing you want to tell me about. Okay. All right. Okay, Nazli. I'll see you tomorrow.